What's up guys, welcome to beautiful Warsaw, the capital of Poland. We started our day off just the right way with some Mexican food in a place called Bar Pacific, and they had the funkiest toilet that we have ever seen. It was like a trippy experience. The tacos were absolutely delicious as well, but let's go and explore the capital city of Poland, Warsaw, and we're going to take you. This is going to be a bit of a raw video, no cuts or edits or anything like that, just a few clips that you would have seen there layered over the top of this quick intro. But right now we are in Łazienki Park, which was a park that came highly recommended to us. You guys wrote it down in the comment section and said go and check out the park. There's a castle actually directly here behind me as well. This park is very beautiful, very grand and very opulent and large. But yeah, we're going to take you on a quick walk through the streets of Warsaw, and I hope you guys enjoy this. As I said, no cuts, no edits, anything like that.
The breakfast that we had there as well, I'm gonna turn you around so that you can just see what we see. The Mexican tacos that we had, they were surprisingly very close to the Mexican food that you would get in Mexico itself. Like I didn't think that would be the case, because usually when you get Mexican food or Chinese food or something like that outside of the actual country, usually it's not that good, but these ones were really good, right?
They were amazing, yeah. They were actually, as Naomi said, very close to the ones that we had. We had an unbelievable amount of Mexican street food while we were in Mexico. If you haven't checked out our Mexico playlist, we spent like 4 months traveling through Mexico on public transport, so we have some pretty interesting videos over there, and we had some pretty crazy food there as well, and that was actually the closest that we've had in terms of authentic Mexican food, and we had it here in Warsaw of all places, so that's really surprising.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, but the whole point of this video, guys, is that we're going to bring you on a walk with us through Warsaw. We're going to talk as well just a little bit about, you know, we've been in Poland now two and a half months, nearly three months,
I believe.
Yeah, and this Warsaw is our 15th city in Poland, 15th and final city that we are checking out, and this is really our second day wandering around the city and checking it out. It does look like it might rain.
That's what I wanted to say. I got a notification saying that it's supposed to rain at 1. So now it's 20 past 1.
Yeah.
Pray for us that the weather stays just like this without rain.
Yeah, we should be okay. But you guys have been recommending so much different things down in our comments, and we are so grateful for that. Thanks to you guys, we're able to see all of this sort of hidden stuff that not a lot of tourists get to see.
I believe the Bar Pacific, where we had breakfast today, was a recommendation off of one of you guys as well, right?
Yeah. One of our subscribers jumped into our comment section on Instagram. If you guys aren't following us over on Instagram, make sure and do that. It's just at 2 Mad Explorers, so at 2 Mad Explorers. I nearly fell there. Yeah, make sure to follow us on Instagram. You get to see kind of all of the behind the scenes stuff. We always put up Instagram stories where we share what we're doing on a daily basis. So we share the food that we have, we share the different museums that we go to and check out, travel days, all that type of stuff. So it's definitely worth checking out our Instagram. A little bit of a social media plug right there. But right now we're just coming out of Łazienki Park, and it's in the Jazdów area of Warsaw, apparently. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Probably not.
Speaking of pronunciations, we do have a pronunciation video in the works. So we put up a community post on our YouTube as well. So go over and check out that community post, because we're asking you guys to give us some Polish words that we have to pronounce, and we're going to do like an entire video just basically pronouncing the hardest possible Polish words that we can.
Let's see if we learned anything during our 3 months in Poland, I guess. Probably not.
Yeah, we're gonna be put to the test, that's for sure. Hopefully we have learned something, because as we said, we've been here now for almost 3 months straight without any breaks in between, and we have spoken to plenty of Polish people, we've met plenty of locals, we've made plenty of new friends as well, thanks to you guys. And yeah, that's another reason why we're filming this video, is because we want to talk a little bit about our experience in Poland as foreign tourists, because a lot of times you get YouTube videos that just show the highlights or just show the glamorous side of stuff. So we want to do this video just to kind of give you guys a little bit more of like a relatable chat basically, and you guys can obviously comment down below as this video is going along and let us know what you think. But for us as foreign tourists visiting Poland in summer 2022, it's been a really great experience. We've learned so many different things about Polish history. We have discovered so many different things about this country that we never really thought about or never even really considered. And all in all, it's been probably one of the best educational experiences that we could have gotten. Right now we're currently waiting to cross the street. This is actually something that's a little bit of a culture thing for me. I'm Irish. In Ireland there's no such thing as jaywalking, or you know, in Ireland you can cross the street wherever you want. It doesn't matter if there's a red light, a green light, orange light, whatever. There's nothing like that in terms of law. You can just cross when you want. So I find oftentimes we will be crossing the street and I will go to cross, and Naomi literally will have to grab me, pull me back and be like, the light's red, and I'll be like, oh, and I completely forget about it. But yeah, there you go. It's a little bit of a culture shock for me. I'm still getting used to it. Yeah,
for me not so much, because I grew up in Germany, so for me it's kind of normal that you have to stop at a red light. But when I moved to Ireland, that was my culture shock, because I realized that you don't have to wait for a red light or for a green light or whatever you would call it.
Reverse culture shock.
Yeah, kind of a reverse culture shock, if you will. But yeah, 3 months in Poland. First of all, I really want to thank all of you guys for supporting us so much. We are really highly appreciative of that, because I think obviously we have been traveling for quite some time, but I think we have never received that much support as we did here in Poland, right?
Yeah, it's actually been astounding when you think about it. We literally tripled, I think we tripled our channel size since we came to Poland, so we're so grateful for every single one of you guys that showed us support. Polish people are some of the best people in the world. We genuinely mean that. The support has just been truly outstanding, and it almost makes us a little bit emotional as well just talking about it, because we set out on this trip of ours to travel full time roughly around 1.5 years ago, and to be honest, when we started it off, you're full of self-doubt and you don't know whether or not it's going to actually work, or that you're going to actually be somewhat successful. And we just recently crossed over 7.5 thousand subscribers, which, wow, it's that's like a little army. It's like we could literally go and start invading countries with our subscribers. The Explorer army. Yeah. How cool is that? We're never going to invade anything though. No, we're good. But we are literally, if you think about it, 7,500 people standing in front of you. That's like a concert. It's like a decent sized concert of people that are like-minded and are interested in travel. So yeah, we're so incredibly grateful for that support. We are literally just going on a kind of a tangent and wandering around Warsaw here. Maybe some of you guys will know what this street is, but this is the area that we're currently in. We're kind of making our way towards the Palace of Culture and Science, which we showed in the video before this one. We will have a Warsaw video out shortly before this one, so make sure to check that one out.
What I find really surprising about Warsaw, because usually when you walk around Warsaw, it's always like very crowded. There's always loads and loads of people, because obviously there's loads of people living here. But this Saturday, for whatever reason, it kind of feels like everybody is still asleep. It's midday now, and you see some people, but you don't see nearly as many people as you would on the other days. So I think Warsaw is still asleep today.
Yeah, for sure. We seem to be like there's very little people, as you guys can see. It's relatively relaxed, and we are pretty much central in terms of where we're staying. We're staying as well in a place that is essentially a capsule hotel. The room that we have is absolutely insane. It's literally just a bed next to two walls, and we actually, speaking of Instagram, put up a picture showing that we could not even fit a remote control of a TV between the wall and the bed. That's just how small the room was, but nonetheless it is a very comfortable experience because there's no window on the wall, so it's just pitch black, and kind of became like a little bit of a sleep fortress for us.
Yeah, I thought it was a really great experience because it's very different to what we would usually do. You know, usually we would stay in Airbnbs or maybe hostels or hotel rooms if they are relatively cheap and kind of fit our budget. So it was really good to see a capsule hotel, or a small room hotel, basically.
Yeah, for sure. But Warsaw itself, the city itself, is very surprising for us. To be honest, me personally, I never had any sort of expectations when it came to Warsaw. It was always a city that was on my list. It was always somewhere that I wanted to eventually travel to. But I never did. I never really found the time to go and travel to Warsaw, obviously, until now. And to be honest, we're both very, very, very grateful that we did, because for me personally, I'm not sure about Naomi, but for me personally, it's definitely in like my top 3 places. And I've only been here, this is the second full day, and I can already say that this city is a gem. There's so many different, there's so much sort of, I see so much opportunity in this city. It's massive size wise. There's plenty going on, so it already has shown that it's capable of being a great city. But we did hear quite a lot of Polish people, quite a lot of comments from Polish people that we know that said it's kind of boring, there's not much to see or do for tourists. But to be honest, I think it's pretty cool.
I'm very, very positively surprised by Warsaw as well, because it is such a massive city, but I feel like it's very, like, it changes a lot. Like usually, you know, the way, for example, when you look at Berlin, just as an example, or maybe even Düsseldorf, where I'm from, you would see kind of just one type of architecture, and the entire city kind of looks the same. And I kind of feel like with Warsaw you have these like very, very modern aspects of the city, but at the same time you have loads and loads of old architecture and old buildings that are really, really cool to look at. And just that those two kind of aspects merge together into one city, I think it's very incredible to see, and that Warsaw actually managed to make that work as well without looking kind of out of place or maybe weird in a way. I feel like Warsaw really, really managed to bring the old and the new, the good and the bad, or whatever, together into one city very, very beautifully.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that at all.
Definitely, there's very obviously a contrast in this city. We're talking obviously about a city. I said this in the last video, but just so you guys know, Warsaw was pretty much totally flattened. It was around 80-85% of Warsaw was flattened, destroyed in World War II. And now, walking through it as of today in July 2022, this place is booming. There's a lot going on, there's a lot of people working, there's a lot of job opportunities from what I've heard. There's plenty of companies that are coming here. There's not that many people that are actually leaving, and I'm hearing there's a lot of really great universities here in Warsaw as well.
So many foreigners as well, like all over Poland. Obviously we saw some tourists here and there, but it was very obvious that they were tourists. And I feel like here in Warsaw you have loads of people. I feel like a lot of Asian people, for example, a lot of English speaking people that seem like they actually live here, which I think is very surprising. I didn't expect that at all beforehand.
Yeah, I think there's a huge Japanese community as well. We saw that there's quite a few YouTubers that are posting very commonly from Warsaw that are Japanese, and we noticed that there is a very large Japanese community here. And to be honest, diversity is a great thing for a capital city and for a country in general, because you get introduced to so many different cultures, aspects and different things. You get to witness all of these different types of food as well. I think on the first day we had like ramen, and it was actually really good.
Authentic Japanese ramen the first day we arrived at Warsaw, which was really good. Like as I said, I didn't expect all of this from Warsaw, but it's so beautiful and so diverse, and really worth putting on your list.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously if you do want to get around the city in a handier way, there's plenty of options here in Warsaw. You do have a tram system, which the tracks are just over here. And there's also, we see plenty of people going around on electric scooters. There seems to be a very well connected system of electric scooter apps like Lime and stuff like that are set up here, and you see people going to work every day on those scooters too. So it is a very well developed, and certainly 100% we would recommend you guys, if you're watching this video, to come for yourself and experience Warsaw. We kind of started our journey in Poland in the south, in Krakow, and we're very grateful that we did that, because Krakow is kind of one of those cities that often would get compared with Warsaw. You kind of have Krakow, then you have Warsaw and Gdańsk, and obviously Zakopane, but Zakopane is a much smaller place. So if you're really talking like top 3 most visited large city destinations, it's probably going to be Gdańsk, Warsaw and then Krakow. And we've been to all 3 of those. And to be honest, if I had to pick one out of those 3 cities, I'm going for Warsaw, in terms of somewhere that I would actually spend a long period of time. Like if I had to pick somewhere where I'm going to live for like longer than 2 weeks or something like that, I'm definitely going to pick this city, I think, out of those 3. What about you?
Yeah, but Luke is a city boy because he grew up in Dublin, so he always tends to pick cities, like larger cities, over smaller villages. If I had to pick between Gdańsk, Kraków and Warsaw, I would probably go with, it's a difficult decision actually.
It is tough.
I would probably go with Gdańsk, but just because I like the charm of the city, and kind of a little bit more of a like older architecture, and that's really what I'm into. And I'm not so much of a larger city person as Lucas.
Yeah, I definitely am a city person. It's really funny actually, the contrast between me and Naomi, because I typically love larger cities and I thrive when I'm amongst, you know, thousands of people, and I like that general atmosphere. Naomi is much more towards the ocean, smaller, like more local types of places, and I love that side of things as well, don't get me wrong. I just like being amongst other people, because it's a much easier and quicker way to sort of socialize with the people in certain countries. You get more of a sense as well of what the general vibe of certain countries are, and obviously there's the diversity aspect as well. So when you're in a place that is a giant city, you feel like you get many different experiences in one little location. But yeah, nonetheless, we're going to take you guys for another maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so through this city. You might be able to see this point up here on the distance. That's actually the Palace of Culture and Science, where we kind of started off our first Warsaw video. And it's actually very cool. It's one of the most unique looking buildings, I think, in Warsaw.
It's such a great building. When we were in that palace, I couldn't believe my eyes. It's such a stunning place, and the view that you have from the tower up there is just truly beautiful and amazing. I don't know, I just couldn't believe my eyes when we were up there, to be honest. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we saw, check this out, people selling some nice fresh rhubarb and vegetables, etc. Which again, something about Warsaw which is truly spectacular. You have the large chain retail stores, and you have got plenty of like super shopping centers, etc. But then you also have people that are randomly selling vegetables and fruit out of the trunk of their car. So that's again talking about the specific contrast, if you will, of this city. That's where you're really going to see it. Warsaw as well is a fantastic city. Actually, you know what, all of Poland in general is an incredible country if you are into music, concerts and festivals. There's so many different concerts. We didn't even realize this until we first arrived in Poland, but we started looking around and we saw all of these billboards and stuff while we were in Katowice and Krakow, plenty of other places, and here in Warsaw as well. But you see all these billboards and you see how many like free concerts that there are in Poland, and it's astounding. It's crazy for me coming from Dublin. It really just doesn't happen very often for me. Like we saw a lot of people here wearing Rammstein stuff, people wearing bandanas and t-shirts and hoodies with Rammstein, and it turned out that they just recently played here, or they're doing a tour and they're making their way through Poland. We also got invited to a Polish open air free rock festival, which unfortunately we're not going to be in the country for. But yeah, the culture and the free concerts and the live music atmosphere in this country is just truly astounding, and I love it. And it's really great to see, because so many people just seem to know how to enjoy themselves, let's put it that way.
I do believe that the Rammstein concert, however, probably was paid for.
Oh yeah.
There is this one free rock festival, I believe it's in the beginning of August, and in the lineup was something like Limp Bizkit or something like that for free.
Yeah, it's Pole and Rock is the name.
Pole and Rock, where is that?
I have no idea the name of the actual town. If you guys do know the name of the town, make sure to drop it down below for us, so other people, if they are watching this and they do want to go, that they can go, and we will pin your comment at the top.
We actually saw a concert, I believe it was in Katowice. We saw jazz and funk type of concert from somebody who plays saxophone, which was absolutely amazing. What was the...
Candy Dulfer.
I know her name, yeah, Candy Dulfer, but like the place where it was.
It was called like Nosper, N-O-S-P-R, in Katowice, and it's supposedly one of the best acoustics to have for live music, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, the setup of the concert hall itself, it was kind of round, and the stage was in the middle, so that people could actually sit all around the stage and then see Candy Dulfer from every side, basically, which I have never seen before. It was a very interesting setup.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And that's, again, like what I mean when I'm saying Poland is just so incredibly unique in that way, because there's just nothing like that happening in Ireland. For me, where I'm from, I'm sure there is in a lot of other European destinations, but for me, Poland in general, it's really just shocked us and blown us away in that regard. There's just an unlimited amount of things that you can spend your time doing, and there's so many different ways to socialize with people as well.
And then I believe we saw like a series of free concerts in Torun because they had kind of a festival going on there for the city. I don't actually know why there was a festival, but there were loads and loads of free concerts all over the city, which was really amazing to see. And the performers there, like, they were not like world-known performers, at least not to us, but they were truly amazing, and all of that for free, just kind of stumbling into the concert and just staying wherever you want for a while or checking out the next artist. That was really amazing to see.
Yep. Now, guys, we are approaching the Palace of Culture and Science. You can see it off there in the distance. This video is getting pretty long. We're like 26 minutes in. If you guys are still watching this video, thank you very much. Make sure to drop a nice big thumbs up on this video. We are going to have a few more videos about Poland. As I said, pronunciation video, and then we have a couple more videos in the mix for you before we head off. But check this out.
Huge skyscrapers here.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Large.
It's beautiful. You have a mixture, as we said, a total contrast of all of these different buildings, and the Palace of Culture and Science, I believe, is the second tallest building in all of Poland, and then you do have one other one which begins with a V that is somewhere close to it. I believe it's actually this one that's just appearing here. Oh yeah, it's called the Warsaw, and it's supposed to be taller, but from here, because of the perspective where we're standing, it does not look as tall as the Palace of Culture and Science. But nonetheless, this city just makes your jaw drop everywhere you go. There's a lot of beauty to it. There's also a lot of areas that are pretty grey, but I'm not gonna lie, Warsaw, definitely somewhere that I have fallen in love with for sure.
I think what is really interesting about the city as well is that in a lot of areas you have these tunnel type of systems, as we're going to see now because we have to walk through it. So if you want to avoid waiting for the traffic light, you can just head into one of these tunnels and then just pop out on the other side. Something that you don't see in a whole lot of European cities. I believe we have some of those in Germany as well, but like very limited, and only if it's like tied to like an underground train or something like that. Like you wouldn't have just casually a passage like this.
It's really cool though, like just a super convenient way to cut your way through the city. Hopefully the lighting is okay here. We shoot all of our videos just on a GoPro, and it's not really the right camera for low lighting situations, but nonetheless, we are just about to cut through and arrive at the Palace of Culture and Science. I hope you guys are enjoying this little quick insight into what a day in our life looks like. This is our last day exploring around Warsaw, so we're just really trying to get as many steps in as we can and just kind of take in the atmosphere before we head off. But there's the building itself, guys, and this is probably the perfect location or the perfect destination to wrap this video up.
our journey in Warsaw started at this building and it ends at this building.
Exactly. So guys, for now, my name is Luke.
My name is Naomi.
We are the Two Mad Explorers.
And this is your reminder to keep exploring.
See you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching.
Ciao.